Okay,
How are you?
with us now we have Juan Pablo Montoya. He drives the number 42 Target Chevrolet for Earnhardt Ganassi. He comes into this weekend 8th and
In good position, and we always find a way to do that and stay out of trouble. You know, it's one of the biggest things is stay out of trouble early. Run really smart. You know, you're always going to get cautions and things, so you got to play it really smart all day. And it's going to be interesting with the pushing because different than Daytona, there's so much more room out here. You know, I think you can run four wide easily, if not more. So it's going to be quite a challenge to know when to go and what to do and, you know, how aggressive to go. You know, I mean, you saw that at Daytona that, you know, 4 laps to go, people got crazy and you know, there were big wrecks happening. So it's going to be quite a challenge as always.
we'll take questions now for Juan. We'll start right here with Jeff. Go ahead.
Juan, as far as you and Jamie and Earnhardt Ganassi, it seems like y'all are having the exact opposite season that you had last year. Last year you had horrible luck. Jamie got all the breaks, and now it seems like it's turned to where you're running pretty well, things are going okay for you, and Jamie can't seem to buy a break. Can you just talk about that? And
You know, I mean, I think last year I put myself in a lot of times in bad position, and it didn't help, but we did have a lot of bad luck. I think this year we came in really positive. Just the attitude, and everybody in the team is really positive about everything we do, and even when we get bad breaks in a race, we're like, don't worry about it. You know, we'll go through this, make it work, and we always do. I think when things go wrong, you start overdoing things, and they just keep getting worse, and you're making the hole bigger. You know, I did that last year, at least personally. So, you know, I don't know what happened to him last week, to be honest. But he was running, you know, around where I was running all day, so.
has he talked to you at all about what you went through last year?
Oh, we talk in the meetings and things about, you know what I mean, I'll give you an example. We went, where was it, Martinsville, and they asked me, you know, what's your strategy? You know, we always do team meetings on race day, and I said, my strategy today is anger management. It was. I said, if I can get out of here without screaming on the radio or screaming at somebody, I did a really good job. And that's what we're doing, you know, trying to run smarter. You know what I mean, learn to pick your battles. You know, the races are so long that you forget that. You know, sometimes even a place like here, you know, you run hard and you look and you still got, you know, 400 miles to go. It's like, why are you doing? You know what I mean? And I've been very self-conscious about that, making sure when the car is not good, get the most out of it, be patient, don't give up, let's get to a pit stop, let's try to make some changes. And, you know what I mean? As long as everybody knows I'm in it, they will be in it as well. And it's working really well.
Next question. Right here behind you, Dick Bergman has one.
Dick Bergman, NASCAR on Fox. Who do you want to listen to on your radio on Sunday, and who do you want to talk to on your radio on Sunday?
I get on okay with everybody. You know what I mean? I have a really good relationship with Todd, my spotter, and with Brian. Sometimes it's funny because sometimes after a pit stop I'll ask a question and they're looking at the tires and everything, and I go on the radio, hello, you know, it's like, I'm here, can somebody answer, you know? But generally it's pretty good, you know. I'm
wondering about other drivers and other teams, Juan. Do you want to talk to other drivers?
Hell no. I talked, you know, we did that with McMurray, and I said we really don't want to have, the only person I really want to have in the radio is Jamie, because that was the focus, that like in the 500, that was the focus. I would assume as a team we're probably going to do the same here. I'm not 100% sure, but, you know what I mean, you plan so much and everything, and I end up, you know, pushing Kurt Busch at the end of the race, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. I mean, you plan everything and you get to a restart and the guy in front of you is a different guy. And you can either, you know, go or, you know what I mean, there's always choices. And you make a decision. Sometimes you make the right one, sometimes you make the wrong one. But I think I always try to be very loyal. When I tell somebody I'm going to be with them, I'll be with them all the time. And it seems to pay off because that way they know, and you got to have a partner here to work together.
Next question. Go ahead, Jeff has another one.
Juan, several drivers this morning have talked about how mentally challenging this race is. It's not a physically challenging race, but it's very taxing on you mentally. Is there anything in your past racing career you can compare this to as far as the number of decisions you have to make and all the different things you have to think about while you're out there doing this?
I'll tell you the truth, for me, actually, the hardest race I ever had was last week. In the 5 years I've been here, or 4.5 years I've been here, it was last week. For some reason, it was so hard. It was a, you know, a car was a handful, and it was really hard. Here, you know what I mean, at the beginning used to be, but lately we take the approach of, you know, riding the first 100 laps, and I'll go to the back of the pack and just ride. You know what I mean? And you gotta make sure you stay in line and don't do anything. You know what I mean? Just be smart about how you do things, and it seems to work. I think always, you know what I mean? It's all about timing. You know what I mean? You can go too early or you can go too late, and it's about making the right decisions when you're up there. You know what I mean? I don't know exactly what's going to be. You know, I would assume everybody's going to be 2 by 2 by 2, but you've seen so many people spin off and things. You know, Jamie spun me, and I spun Biffle, and you know, I spun 2 or 3 times in Daytona, in the race, and you gotta avoid that. You know what I mean? You gotta put yourself in the best possible scenario possible at the end of the race with the best car possible. You know, underneath my car, everything was broken. You know, at the end of the race in the 500, because all the spins and the flat tires and everything. And I think we got to be, you know, smart about that. We got to make sure, yeah, we push and everything, and this place is a little bit easier. But, you know, you can, you know, especially when you're riding, it's very easy to make a mistake.
Who has the next question?
Cool. Thank you. Bye.
Well, Juan, before you leave.
Spanish.
Wait now.
Oh, wow.
Before you leave, if you wouldn't mind, for our Hispanic fan base, Hispanic media that cover our sport, maybe just describe what it's like racing at Talladega Superspeedway.
Bueno, la verdad, Talladega es una pista siempre muy interesante. Es la otra pista aparte de Daytona que es restrictor, y todo es en base de la empujada y la succión y todo, y la verdad siempre es muy emocionante. Es una pista que siempre nos ha ido muy bien, y pues la verdad tenemos esperanzas muy altas de que pueda ser un muy buen resultado este fin de semana.
Juan, thanks a lot, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you.